Hello, second graders. Mrs. Sutliff here. I'm going to be talking about the Ozzobots, which are the robots that second graders get to use today. Our learning target is I can code the robot. So we're going to be using code, but it's going to be very interesting and different. So this is the Ozzobots, and when you get them from me, you'll need to be carrying them carefully. You will be sharing with a partner, okay? So the Ozzobot has a little button on the side to turn it on. And once it is on, you will then take your sheet that has the black dot on it and you will calibrate it, okay? So I will grab my iPad so I can show you what I'm doing here. I put the Ozzobot on the black dot and it is calibrated. It's calibrating right now. For the Ozzobot activities, you are also going to be getting a set of markers. The marker box needs to be kept nice. Do not break the box trying to put the markers back in. Okay, be careful with it. You have a green marker, a blue marker, a red marker, and 2 black ones so that you and your partner can both draw a path at the same time. Each marker has a thick side that says follow and a thin side that says fill, and that will make more sense in a second. Okay, you are also going to be getting a giant piece of paper. This is the one piece of paper that I'm going to give you. As you can see, it's pretty big. So some things that I saw second graders doing in previous years when we used the robots, really wasting their paper, just wasting it because they were making their path way too big and not putting enough code in it, okay? So I'm going to try and show you a really good example of a really well-made project later, okay? So my robot is ready, I think. On the back of this sheet, and it says how to make Earth happy, where you have the black dot, you have a path that you can actually set your robot on to follow, and it tells you to start it right here. You want to do this to make sure your robot is working, okay? So your robot has headlights. This is his front, okay? And here's my path. And I had to move him a little to set him so he knew he was on the black line. And the robot is reading the code on this path and following the code to do what he is supposed to do. Woo, that was fun. Okay, so if your robot does not move when you put him on this practice sheet, the first thing you need to do is turn him off by just pushing this button again. Give him 5 seconds to rest, turn him back on, and put him on the black dot again. That is probably the problem, is he just needs to be calibrated, okay? Okay. Something else that you and your partner are going to get is this sheet. This is all the code that you can use to code your robot. And as you can see, there is a lot. And some of it is simple. Some of it is more complicated. And now hopefully you see why I'm giving you paper and markers, because we need to use the colors to code the robot. Okay. So first thing that you need to understand is when you are drawing your path, it needs to be as thick as the lines on this example, okay? If you are drawing your black path and it's really skinny, your robot is not going to follow it. And you do not want a sloppy path, because I'm giving you one piece of paper, okay? So let's make sure that we're using all of our paper nicely to make a really nice path that is thick enough with the follow side, okay? Something else you need to know is that when you're filling in the code, like you can see on here, you are going to make little squares. And so that's going to be the side that says fill right here. It needs to be a square, not a long, fat, chunky rectangle, a square, okay? And you have examples right here of what it should look like. You also have examples right here of what this should look like. It will not work if you make long, fat, chunky rectangle colors for your code, okay? So that's something else that you need to keep in mind. If you're having trouble reading what the words say on the code, that's one reason why we have a partner, so that we can figure out what we're actually coding the robot to do. But if both of you can't tell what it's supposed to be doing, you can certainly ask me. Okay. When you start drawing your path, you want to do little sections of path and then put color code on there. You don't want one giant long line with no code, because then your robot's not going to do anything special except follow that line, okay? So I'm going to make a really awesome code path for my Ozzobot to follow, and I'm going to show you in just a moment. I created one straight line with 3 different blocks of code here. And if you look at the color code chart that I gave you, you can see that I did green, black, green, which is supposed to be cruise speed. And then I did blue, black, blue, which is supposed to be fast. And then I have this one that is red, green, which will make the Ozzobot do the tornado. But if I start my Ozzobot over here on this side, then it would actually be green, red, and then it would do the spin, green, red. So it depends on which way the robot is going. So let's start him over here. Okay, he sped up because of that code. And then he read the tornado. And then he got to the end. Now if I pick him up and put him down. Okay, and he slowed down at the end. So one thing I noticed is that he got really close to the edge of the table. You cannot let your Ozzobot fall off the table. Okay, I'm going to try this again and see if he can read the green, red better. There we go. Sometimes if they're going too fast, they go right over the code and they don't read it. Now I have a choice here with what the code I'm building. I can make a straight turn this way, or over here I could leave a gap here if I wanted and put a line going this way, a black line, and then I could try to use some of these direction. So this one says left at intersection. Let's see, what else do I have here? This win and exit could be kind of fun to do. Okay. I could try a zigzag. I want to see where the line switches are. So these are really fun. Line switch left, line switch straight, line switch right. So if I had my robot coming this way, and then there was a gap here, if I put the line switch straight right here, then my robot would keep going straight right here until he hits some black line going this way. So I'm gonna try and code that and see if it works. This is Sutliff here again. I've been working on my code path for around the amount of time you'll have to work on yours for one day. And so I wanna show you how much that I have. Okay, so I'm backing up so you can really see. This is my giant piece of paper. Notice that I did not use the whole entire thing in one session because I'm going to be able to come back and keep working on this. I want my robot to start over here. So he'll start out setting at a cruising speed, which might look like the same speed that he's already going. So it might look like he doesn't do this code, but this is cruise speed. This is a slightly faster speed. It just is called fast. This code is a tornado, but it might also be a spin if he's coming from the other way. And then this one right here that I picked is a straight at intersection. So that my robot will go across and go here. And then if my robot decides to go down this way, I put a U-turn here, and then I put a zigzag here. So we're gonna watch and see what my robot does. Remember, the headlights are in his front. Looks like he did nothing, but that's because he was already going that speed. Here's the tornado. Okay, I might need to nudge him back onto the path. There we go. He went straight across, and he did turn that way. And it looks like my U-turn did not work. So I'm gonna try and just put him back on there. So I want to figure out why my U-turn didn't work. It might be that he was too close to the edge of the paper. It might be that I had the wrong code here. So I put blue, red, blue, and I thought that a U-turn would be blue, red, blue. But what I should have actually done was just a blue, red because it was a U-turn at a line end. So I don't know how to fix that now. So if you make a mistake on your code path, that's kind of a bummer because it's marker and you can't fix it. My robot's headlights are off, so I'm gonna grab my Make Earth Happy sheet that has the black dot on it, and I'm gonna put my robot back on there and see if it will recalibrate. I'm gonna turn it off by pushing this button and holding it down. Okay. Okay, it is back on. I just held down the button and it started doing the blinking headlights like this. And so I put it back on the black dot to calibrate it again. So I'm kind of bummed about this, but I wonder if I put some black at the end of this, if it would work. Please be careful that you do not get marker on the table. Okay. Trying really hard. But I don't have room to put a big square there, so I don't know what's going to happen. But if you look at my robot, you can see the headlights are still flashing. But I'm going to see if he'll work now. There he goes. And that code made him go backwards. And still, he is stopping at the end of that and not doing an actual U-turn, which would be to turn around and go back. Okay, so if your robot does something you're not expecting, then you'll need to debug your code and figure out why. Okay. It goes a zigzag. Okay. So notice that after one session, I have so much paper left to do more with it next time. So I'm going to put my name and my number where I set at the top of my paper. I'm over here at spot number 25. Okay. And that way I can get this paper back and I can keep coding the robots some more next time. Okay. So that is about it for the basics with the robot. Notice that I have nice squares with my code and I have nice thick black lines with my path. Okay.